Great idea.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind for Thursday, July 2nd, 2026. And today we are featuring Adam McCollough, who is coming to us from the school community, Start a Business with No Money. So that is going to be the topic for today, how to start a business for no money, or to really, I think we're going to lean into using the assets that you have already built to really accelerate your business a little further than it already has come. So, with that, take it away, Adam.
You're absolutely right. That's what we do. So I started with absolutely nothing. Just a really brief backstory. I had an awful childhood. Um, really struggled socially and financially. We were never rich growing up, and so I kept trying everything. Had hundreds of jobs, literally hundreds of jobs, and went bankrupt at 23 after trying to set up a business, doing it all really, really badly, making loads of mistakes. And then after going bankrupt, it's even harder because you, at least pre-bankruptcy, you have people that will give you credit cards, they give you money, and you still got access to money. Post bankruptcy, I went straight back into debt, and it was you literally nobody will give you anything, so you have to learn how to be resourceful. You have to learn how to just get by and manage and cope, beg, borrow, steal, cheat, not steal, beg, borrow, and do whatever it takes just to make your things work. So yeah, that's eventually we did a couple of things that we did right, and now we've got a couple of companies, we've got property and stuff, and we do all right. So I don't have to work. I discovered coaching a couple of years ago by voluntarily coaching for the Peter Jones Foundation. And it's just so rewarding seeing people and helping people that that's why I decided to set up. Well, I wrote the book, How to Start a Business with No Money, which is being published soon. It's available for pre order. And so, yeah, basically, I just love showing people how to do it. So I share some of my tricks. So, have we got any questions from anyone before we start? Or shall I just dive in with a what I've done in true ADHD fashion is I have literally just thrown together really quickly some slides just to kind of talk through, yeah, just a couple of strategies that may or may not help you. But generally, my preferred style is if somebody has specific problems, I love solving them. So I could do those now, or I could do them at the end, whatever. What do you reckon,
The
Jill?
the way that we normally do this is we open mics up. If you've got something to say or something insight or questions, or you just want to ask Adam something, unmute and do it.
And that's my favorite way to do it as well. So I suggest I'll go through what I've got prepared, which is literally five really tiny little modules. Well, four and a bit of motivation, really. And the if you've got any questions, then just ask me. I just need to grab my phone where I've put my notes. So excuse my unprofessionalism. Let me get it.
We're
One
really
sec.
casual around here, so no worries. Welcome, Nathaniel. Nice to see you here.
Thank you, Miss Hart. How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent.
It's
Okay.
great to see you too. Adam, I have a question for you.
Hi. Yes.
I'm Nate the Great. Do you have any objection to being called Awesome Adam?
I love Autumn Adam. I'm
Oh,
so
all right,
it's
just
so nice
checking.
to put a face to the name because you're so active in our community, which I love. Thank you for that. Oh, it's really nice to see you.
Good to see you.
No,
No,
call
it's
me
great to
Awesome
see you
Adam.
too.
I've been called far worse.
Me too. I'm from
Okay.
Boston, Massachusetts, if you have any idea where that is. People in America will know. I was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, not
Okay.
far away from New York City. I've been called just about every name in the book, and Nathaniel, Nathan, Nate, and anything other is pretty good. Be better than most
I
things I've heard, so I'm good.
I love Nate's the Great, and I love I love what you do. I love your energy as well. Keep that
Thank you.
coming. Okay, let me just find the mastermind. Have you got any more questions from anyone else before I begin?
We're all on the edge of our seats.
Oh, right. Okay. I wouldn't be too far on the edge. Right.
It might fall off.
Can we share screens at all?
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen. It's probably in the little circle with the dots.
Oh, of course. What are we on? We're on. Yeah. Okay.
Hey Jill, I have a serious question for you real quick.
Mhm.
Um, right now I'm on my desktop. Is it okay if I get in on my phone? I don't have enough water here and I need to drink like 3 liters a day. So I'll be
Yeah,
right back.
yeah.
Okay.
And you can just pop in. I don't have a waiting room.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
I'll be
I'll
back.
wait.
All right.
So, can you see my screen okay? I'm assuming you all
Yep.
can.
Yep.
So this is
Yes.
me. It looks like a couple of you are already in our community anyway. How to start a business with no money. The link I'm sure Jill will provide at the end of the thing somewhere. So inside our community, we do have other experts. I can briefly tell you how that happened later, but it's not important right now. So let's try and make sense of this slide. Try and remember. I literally just knocked this up a few minutes ago. So basically, I'm going to use a customer example. I had a customer that I will call Mark, who had a really ambitious goal of £1 million a month. So the only way, that's a really ambitious goal. So I've used an example of let's say we want to earn £1 million a year. It's really, really hard to think, I'm going to just earn £1 million a year. But if we break that down to say, okay, let's just, for simplicity, break it in half each year. So let's say that means in year 4, we're going to be 500,000 a year, year 3, 250, year 2, 125, and year 1, we only need to think about making 62,500 this year, which is really quite achievable in a business. So I'm trying to make sense. This makes no sense, this slide at all. This is an awful slide. So anyway, I'm going to let me check these slides. Okay, this is better. So you work out exactly how much you need and work your way backwards. I hate these slides. So what I'm going to do, the only slides that are any good is the last one. So I'm actually going to go to somewhere to show you it much better. Let's go to this article instead, which shows it a lot better. So you want to be earning £1 million in 5 years. So we need to break it down. So to double, so as I said, 500k, 250. And if you then break that down to how much we need a week, that's only 1,300 a week. So then if we need to make 1,300 a week, let's assume we make something and we sell it for £50, or in this digital media world, there's loads of things we can sell without even having to make them. You only need to sell 26 of those a week at £50. Or it could be, less of that for £100, more of that, 50 of those for £25. So you just work out how many you need. And it's just so much easier to say, okay, it's so much easier to sell 5 things a day than it is to go, I need to make £1 million in a year. So once we've worked out exactly how to chunk things down, you can do that for everything. So I've used the example. So when we want to sell more stuff in our manufacturing business, we will say, okay, well, what can we do? We can go down the wholesale route. We can run email campaigns. We can do more advertising. We could do international markets and so on. But when you think about the whole picture, it's impossible. So we just chunk it down again and pick one of those things. So let's say we want to target wholesale customers, and then we'll just brainstorm, how do we do that? We'll chunk it down and say, okay, so we're going to need to create an advert. We're going to need to make this many phone calls, write this sales letter. And essentially, every time you just keep breaking these tasks down into smaller and smaller pieces, you can then, what I personally do is I'll use AI like Perplexity or something like that, and just say, prioritize this list into an order of priorities where income generating tasks is the most important. So I want the most money for the minimum amount of work, and it will literally produce a task list to say, and you can just start at the top and work through, and your week is set out, and that'll take you to your goal. So any questions on module 1?
I'm going to ask, are you assuming that somebody has something that they're going to sell and that they have it priced?
I'm assuming that if you are starting a business, let me find you again.
Probably down in the bottom.
Where are you? I've got too many open tabs. Where are you? There you are. Hey. I'm assuming if someone starts a business, they have a product of some kind. Mm-hmm. So even you have a product. So is there anyone here that doesn't have it? Like, what were you asking?
It's not always a done deal that people actually have an offer, especially when it comes to coaches. Often they will have an idea of things that they can do, but without a specific Evelyn Weiss likes to call them cookies. But they may have an idea of what they could do, but they don't have the specifics of this is where people enter in, and then this is the next step for them to take, and the next step for them to take.
Okay, so you're basically saying, so you're just talking that when people have a passion and they know that they want a side hustle, but they haven't quite figured out what they want to do yet.
Yeah.
So they're still trying to find their passion or find what it is. Mm-hmm. We totally help with that, but not in this module.
That was my question, that you were making an assumption that people had something with a price tag on it so that they could break it down to how many things they had to sell.
We're starting from a point where we kind of have a business, even it's just an idea. Even if somebody is just, right, I want to be a window cleaner, they know they're going to go out and clean windows. Or even if, like, whatever the business is, even for a massive company, the whole chunking down strategy is exactly the same. Like, if you want to be the next Google or the next AI, whatever the next big AI model will be, it's the exact same principle. You kind of go, this is where we want to be, so this is how we get there. We're going to need £10 billion to set this off, and you can literally chunk it right down to an action point. So that's the point of the module. With regards to your question of finding what your passion is and how you turn that into money, that's a whole different chapter.
Okay.
So any other questions from anyone? Or shall I go into the next module?
Yeah, let's go to the next module.
I'm really terrible with these tabs. Module 2 is so I did touch on making income generating tasks. So income generating tasks are always what we should focus on, which is the things that are going to make us the most money for the least amount of time. So I often ask people, so how's your day been? And they'll be like, I've been so busy. I've sorted out all of my emails. I've tidied the office, and literally will give me a list of things. Even like I've cleared my washing basket and I've done all these things, and that's great, and it feels really good, and it's, you know, ticked off lots of dopamine hits, but you've not actually done any work on your business at all, even when you're working. So if I have a really busy day and if I've gone to the workshop and had to do stuff and cut things out in the machines and done loads of stuff, so I'll say to my wife at the end of the day, I say, I haven't done anything today. And she'll go, what do you mean? You've made all these stills and we've got all these orders out and we've done this. And I'm like, well, that's not a needle mover. It's not taking our business to the next, you know, it's not taking it where we would need it to go. So you always need to be focusing on these tasks. So another way you can do that is by knowing exactly how much you're worth. So how many of us actually know their value? Has any of you actually worked out exactly what? So it's really easy when you're in an hourly job, how much money you are worth. But has anyone actually thought about, does anyone know what they're worth per minute?
Not with the formula, but
you don't have to tell me the amount, but has anyone actually worked it out and gone, every minute of my time is worth
positively priceless.
Positively priceless. Because I know exactly what I'm worth per minute, and it sounds really sad, but you need to always be aware of this. So you can make really easy decisions like, should I get a cleaner or should I do this or whatever, and decide whether something is worth your time. Obviously, some things in life are just priceless, and you can't put a price tag on it. But it really helps to actually to make decisions and know. So if you don't know your value, literally, because a lot of us are self-employed, it's very hard to figure that out as well. But it really is as simple as saying, right, well, in a year, our revenue is this, or our profit is this, and divide it by the amount of minutes in a year. But just being conscious of that will definitely help you make better decisions. So when you find yourself, like, suddenly you go, oh, this banner, you know, if I just move this to the left, and you waste another hour on that banner, that cost you a lot of money. Whereas actually, it probably would have been fine, and it will make a tiniest amount of difference. So that's just my tip on module 2. Any more questions on that?
Tracy?
Yeah, I have a question about the minutes.
Yes.
Like, obviously, you know, we all sleep and other things. When I calculate out like how many hours is a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
That is 2,080 hours a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
With holidays, weekends, vacations, all taken out.
Yeah.
Would you do that amount of minutes, like that is in 2,080 hours, or would you do the amount of minutes that is like in the year or in a day?
No, you're absolutely right to deduct your sleeping time and your. So I don't deduct holiday time because I generally well, basically I'm retired. I don't really work. Like, I don't think of this as work. So, but I still know how much money comes in every year. So I would deduct, because you can't do anything when you're asleep. Like, you can't beat yourself up for going. But even so, if you did, you could, if you wanted to, and go, oh, well, you know, that's a really expensive that's a really expensive lion. But you might just feel bad. But it's just good generally to be conscious of how much you're worth per minute, just so that you can make good decisions. So it's up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. But personally, I don't include time when I'm asleep. Any other questions? Or shall we move to the next module?
I'm gonna share what Soph wrote over here in the chat.
Oh,
She said
yes.
she created an undercharging calculator. It's for coaches who tend to overgive, and we include how much they do outside paid hours extra for clients. And she was leaving 43,500 pounds on the table a year.
That's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, and that
Yeah, it's
and
really
that was just
insightful.
in and that was in the overgiving by,
Mm-hmm.
when you've booked a half-hour call and you give 40 minutes and that sort of thing. Is that
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. But just being aware of that, and so I'm all about overgiving, and I always plan to overdeliver. But you must build. So I do it the other way. I build that into my price already. So I'm quite happy to do that. I won't do it the other way around. But then we all have our own different business models. But yeah, it's really insightful, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, it's
43
Sophie.
grand.
Sorry, I've just come off mute to say I completely agree because when I did that calculator, I don't want to not speak to my clients in between sessions or support them if they need it. So I knew that I then needed to raise the prices to cover that
Yeah,
extra stuff. So yeah,
absolutely.
it was really interesting.
But
Yeah. So
just being
what
aware of it gives you so much power. I honestly
Mm.
never had thought of this myself.
I'll
So
share
I'm,
it. It's an AI tool I made in Claude, so I can share it in the community.
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be
love
amazing.
that.
Yeah. Would you mind if I shared that in our community as well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll pop it
Obviously,
in.
with full attribution to you and the link to your community. Did you say you have a school community as well?
I don't know, but I'll pop it
She's on
into Jill's
Substack.
community. And yeah,
You and
I am
stuff.
on Substack. It is quite
Great.
girly because it is aimed at women. But
Sure.
I'm sure your
We have
people will
women.
be fine with that.
We have women that want to start businesses. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Great stuff. So, any more questions on this subject, or shall we move on? I'll take that silence as a good thing. I'm going to go back to my Substack. How many people have so many open tabs and can never find the one they want? Well, do this too much. There we go. Okay, so know your worth. And yeah, as I said before, using tools like Perplexity, ChatGPT, whatever, is really helpful for helping prioritize. When you just add the words, I want the maximum reward for the lowest effort, focus on income generating tasks. So module 3, this is the same. I don't want to give too much away about the customer, but there's a customer that we'll call Mark for anonymity. And he wanted to know how to launch his training program. And he did not want to borrow money or spend, and yeah, he basically had no money at all. So he was complaining about lack of collaboration, and it's not a problem. So I am going to share what we advised on him. So this is a strategy. In this case, it's for somebody I've advised on how to start his own training program. So this client of mine had made his own training program, and he had no idea how to launch it without money because he thought he would need to spend thousands on meta ads and just didn't know the strategy. So I said he needs to create a campaign talking about his training program and getting a lot of excitement out. So when I started How to Start a Business with No Money, this is what a lot of people do. They build their communities the wrong way round, and they spend months building a classroom full of information and modules and making content and making things. So this guy has made a 22-hour training program, and he has no idea if it works. So he what I would not have done it that way. I would have just said, I've created a training program, or I'm creating a training program. I want some guys to come along on the journey with me and beta test it, or see how it goes. I've got a lot of value to give you, and let's come along with me. So normally it's worth however many thousands of pounds, whatever, it's worth X price. But you guys are going to have it completely free, because if you meet this criteria, and the criteria, then you can send them to a form to qualify them and make sure they are the kind of people that you would be your ideal customer. So that could be a landing page or a Google form or anything. And then you basically shout from the hills with this on all of the platforms. So I don't really like YouTube, so I do a lot of my articles on Substack, because I'm a writer. I much prefer to make written content, even though it's a little bit slower and it's a little bit more, it's not quite as good. It's what I'm better at, and I always say we should follow where we're passionate and not where we're. It's better to do Substack.
We're all
really,
about
really well.
Substack here, anyway.
Yeah. So it's much better to do something like Substack really well than YouTube really bad.
Yeah.
So I always say, go where your skills are and do what you do best. So, so I say, shout it from the hills. He's actually really confident on camera and really happy to do YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. So it's very easy for him to get these people. Then once they're in, deliver the product. And like we said just now, I'm a big fan of over delivering and giving them really a huge amount of value to people. And so once you've delivered the course, however long it takes, he could go to all this stuff, give them all this help. And at the peak, when they are absolutely elated and delighted with all of the help you've given them, just ask for reviews, written reviews, and that is just trust building. So then when he repeats the same process, he can then next time go in and do the exact same strategy, saying, I've got this course, I've run it with 20 members, they absolutely loved it. Look at all these amazing reviews, and people have said all this amazing stuff. Normally it's X amount of £1,000, but because it's brand new, we're going to give you some extra value, and so it might be a little bit cheaper, or it might have some other sort of bonuses attached. And again, you're just building slowly. And this is what some people, they just think they can jump into a business, full steam ahead, full price, and just have it, like a huge corporation. And when you play these little mobile games, has anyone ever played these tycoon games where you go in, you don't start in a massive theme park or with a massive whatever it is. You start off usually with one little guy doing one little thing, and then another guy comes in, and that is just how businesses grow generally, especially when you're starting with no money. So once he's got these 20 people, and then he's done it again, and he's got maybe 100 people, these are not just customers that you've sold products to. These people are your ambassadors, and people that really love you, and they've been in from the beginning and seen you've all grown together, especially when you're doing coaching and stuff like this. And they are the best silent sales force you can have. So you really need to look after them and leverage them and work with them and reward them. So you could say, okay, for my next thing, if you just go and get 2 or 3 customers in, you can have this for free. And you just grow that way. So just keep rinse, repeat, and monetize written here. So you've got your social proof, you've got your main people in, and your first 100 members in anything is a lot more difficult than your next 1,000 and the next 100,000. It's just like and just earning money generally. It took I think about 5 years. it took a long time. It took a really long time before we had £1,000 in the bank, which seems laughable now. And still remember that day really clearly, where it's like, Emily, we've got over £1,000 in our PayPal account, and we're like, really? That's amazing. Whereas of course now, it seems like ridiculous, but that was harder to earn than like the next 100,000 and the next million. It just gets easier and easier because all of the things you learn and all of the um, things you do, it all compounds. So, and it's all leverage, isn't it? So, any thoughts on that anyway? Thoughts or questions?
I've got a question. You said it took 5 years. What kind of kept you going in that time? Kept you
So when I said
motivated?
5 years, I might have been exaggerating, but it felt like 5 years. I let me think how hard it was. So we had a toy shop. So this is basically spare money that was
Yeah.
literally just that we didn't need because we were so used to. So before that, we both had jobs, and of course, when all the time we had jobs, I don't think we ever saved any money because we were just typical consumers. And so it probably could have. It could have. I don't know if it was 5 years. It took as long as it took, and what kept us motivated during that time was we were both working together we just had a little toy shop. So
Oh,
my wife, so I tell you, my wife got a toy shop. We started selling online, which I'll share in a minute. A business called Toy Day, and we started with other people's money, just with a little tiny online shop, and we got orders in and we fulfilled the orders from our bedroom. And my wife said, "Oh, shame all this stuff's in the bedroom. It'd be nice to have a shop." So we got a little shop in a seaside town of Lewes in Cornwall. And I was still working at the time, and then I lost my job somehow. Can't remember how. So I said, "Well, I'll come into work with you." And she said, "Well, if you can make £100 a day, bear in mind this is over 20 years ago. So £100 a day was quite a big target. If you can make £100 a day, we could probably keep you." And the rest is history. So I
oh,
just
wow.
worked and worked and worked. And what motivated us is we were working together. I've always disliked working for other people. And it was fun. Just building stuff is
Yeah,
fun, isn't it? So
that's it,
yeah.
isn't it? That's what I
So
say to my friends, like, enjoy this building part and like make it fun. Like, I know that's not as easy to say if you like you need the money, but like if possible, try and enjoy it and experiment with different things. And yeah.
I completely agree, totally. And you have to keep trying a lot of things. So when we started, there was a lot of accidental successes, and I think a lot of businesses are built the same way, where you just keep trying lots of different things. So,
Mm,
I think Amazon came along at just the right time where for us. And this is another thing I say why blueprints don't work is because I could easily go, "Oh, set up an e-commerce business and sell on Amazon as we did and sell billions of pounds worth every month." But it wouldn't work because it's different times. There's so much, the competition is there's so many variables, so many things are different. But it doesn't stop us building. Like, you just got to keep changing, keep building.
I think Evelyn Weiss said something that's really stuck with me. And she said she puts out 5 offers for every
Mm-hmm.
one offer that goes for her. And she's doing it quick. She's using
Yeah.
advertising, which is, it's a model. And if you have enough resources that you can do that model, great. This is about, starting with no money, but the part about you have to just keep making offers and something will click. And that's how you know that okay, we'll run with this one rather than building these huge courses and coaching programs that are like nobody's done them before.
Totally agree. Totally. And like I say about building, what I was saying earlier about people building out all these courses
Yeah.
before. No, so with our community, I'm now in the last month, I've been saying, right, now you guys are here, what can we do? What do you want us to do? And how can I help? Rather than going, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to do, because then I could come out with this offer and people go, oh, I don't want that. I'd rather you did this, and then you have to change your offer. So yeah, I think you've got to listen to your audience as well. Feedback is everything.
I
Yeah.
actually, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that you, Kimberly?
Okay. I actually had a question. I saw that, well, not I saw, I heard that you said, build a free offer. That I was reading the template that you put up, the module, and you said build a free offer and then go from there. What do you do if, and it's me, what do you do if right off the bat you're like, okay, this is what you're going to get. It's 1,000 things that I'm going to do, and I'm going to charge this. What if you've already messed up? Then how do you go back and say, okay, well, I'm going to do a free offer if you're in the middle of a paid offer?
Did anybody take you up on the paid offer? Because then you do have to fulfill it.
Right. And no one, right now, I am not getting any, I'm not getting any hits for the offer. So
take it down, start over.
Exactly. My advice as well. If nobody's taken it up, it doesn't matter. You've lost nothing. All you've done is gained feedback that offer's not working. So now you just need to change it somehow. Yeah.
Then it doesn't mean that what you offered was bad or anything. It doesn't mean anything. You're just getting data back, and you can make different decisions based on that data. And don't let it go too long. It's like I said, Evelyn Weiss, who handles all of the advertising for the school community overall, she's like 5 offers. She puts money behind these offers, and 4 of them flop. And then she does one more and it succeeds. And that could be, she'll put up 10 and they all 10 flop and the next 2 succeed. That's an average. So
yeah. And it's the same in any business as well. So we have a manufacturing business that makes things and products, and I would say it's really similar. We'll make 5, and 1 will be really popular, and 4 you might never sell 1, or you might sell 2 or 3. So, but then that 1 you'll sell 20 or 30 a day, and that would be brilliant up until it's not, and then you do more. So but then you've got more data of what, so the 5 things or the 10 things that didn't work, don't make any more of them, or maybe try different variations of them. But the things that work and you sell lots, you're like, well, we know people love this, so we'll do more of that. It's the same in any business, isn't it?
thank you so much. That really helped.
Thank you. Good. Shall we go to the next part? I don't know how much time we've got. I'm assuming we had an hour.
An hour. That's usually
good. All right. Let's get to the right page again. Let's go to my Substack. We love Substack.
Yes, we do.
Can never find it. So that was him. So this is literally, I just told you this story. And this is when we started Toy Day, we had no money. So, I mean, I was working and we were living on spending as much as we earned, probably more. So I actually had a friend who said, "Oh, I've made a thing that I think it's going to be big. It's called online shopping. So I've made this little online shop thing. Do you want to beta test it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So this was, you got to bear in mind, this was over 20 years ago, when a lot of people, even Amazon, were just still selling books. So people like big companies like H&M didn't exist. Lots of companies that we just take for granted now weren't even a thing. So we were in a right place at the right time. So we actually started selling. I was selling. The very first thing was actually, there was a little flip phone that had polyphonic ringtones called a Samsung T100, and it was a cute little phone. And I realized, oh, I can get polyphonic ringtones. These are really cute, and I really like little fun weird things like that. So I collected a whole collection, and then I thought, oh, probably other people would like these. So I made a little CD up and started selling them, and I think we were selling. I think one month we sold about 7,000 of these on eBay. And that was around the same time my friend had made this online shop thing. So we then, after the polyphonic ringtones, we started selling the Nokia phone cases that you could change, and we started selling other phone related stuff. But it wasn't our passion. We just kind of accidentally went into phones and Bluetooth headsets, and it was boring. And we had a lot of people, it was quite open to fraud. So after we had 3 or 4 phones stolen, where people would scam us out of them, we knew we had a system that worked, and we didn't like the product. So again, it was the feedback. We're like, well, the system works because we're selling lots of things, but the product's not right. So my wife, we this is the days of where we'd go and ask for supplier catalogs. So we got all these catalogs on, and we had one with all witchcrafty stuff and gemstones, which was quite cool. And then another one had toys, and we didn't have children, but these are really cool classic toys. And there was lots of other stuff as well. So we went with the toys, and we literally just took pictures. We had a scanner, so we'd scan the catalogue images in and put them on our website. And again, obviously, this wouldn't work today, but the theory is the same. So anyway, we did that. People would order the stuff, and then we would buy it. So we'd place the order in, and of course, we'd need to get 6 of these, 12 of that. And this is when our bedroom started looking like a toy shop. So that was our strategy, is we had 30-day credit terms with the supplier. But on top of that, we would use credit cards. So I say never, ever, ever use credit cards for personal purchases, ever. There's never a need to do that. But in business, they are really good. So we had 18-month interest-free period. So we could just buy as much stock as we needed, get it on the website, and have it sold before we had to pay the bills. And that is basically how using other people's money works. So there's no risk to your own. It just sounds really obvious when I sell it, and it seems ridiculous to put it in a module, but it's amazing how many people just don't leverage other people's money. It's been used in business for years, like with credit accounts, and it's just a really valuable and clever way to reduce risk. Also, I don't know about the structure of companies in the US, but in the UK, when you have limited companies and things like that, then you're protected as well. If things do go wrong and you borrow all this money and you don't get a payback, then you can just close the business anyway. So that's always, that's something else you can do too. So that is module 4. And module 5 is so basic, it just says, just start. Because so many people plan, strategize, and overthink. And I reckon probably about 1/5 of our community are in this place where they still, what you were saying earlier, Jill, about not launching yet because they're still just thinking about what they're going to do. And you can learn as much as you like, you can plan as much as you like, but until you start, that's when the lessons begin. And that's the end of my modules.
And I have one tip for everybody that goes along with what you just said, Adam, and that is talk to people.
Mm.
An offer is just that. It's just an offer, and they can say yes or no, or yes, but, or no, but. It gives you some information, and you're not going to get this information if you're not talking to people. And so often we go out thinking, oh, I don't want to be spammy, but spammy people are all in it for themselves. When you're having conversations with people that have made a connection with you for one reason or another, and you're just talking about stuff, then it's different. And if you don't get like really wrapped up in the result of the conversation, you're going to get a lot more traction. And you may find that, people will take you up on things that you never thought they would. And you can sell anything,
I agree. I think conversations is where the magic happens, and that's where collaborations begin. It's opened so many doors. And we've said before, the thing that bugs me about school communities when you go in and people will say, introduce yourself, I'd love to know. And then you say, well, I'm Adam, I've got this fabulous community called, and then they go, oh, you can't mention that. Like, well, do you want to
Why
know
not?
me? Why am I here? Like, it's exchange of value, and it's not just here I am to broadcast to you and sell you stuff. It should just be, let's have a conversation and see how we can help each other and what we can do with each other. So,
And
yeah.
and affiliate commissions are a big deal on school. It's You have to be part of the community, but that's all you have to have. That's the qualification. You don't have to have your own community or anything else. You can promote school itself. When people start communities, you get money for that. And you get money for people joining communities that you're part of that you recommend. And it's just like win-win, really.
Do you know what? I didn't even know when I started the community on school, I didn't even know about the affiliate program. So in my head, I was like, well, it's going to cost me $100 a month to give this free community away, but it's worth that money to me. And so I saved up because I started as I said before, I started the community and the whole Start Up with Adam business with no money on purpose, so that I'm in the same place as everyone else, because it's easy to forget all of the stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll put myself in the same place. So I did that. So I literally was just saying, okay, I'll recommend this community. I'll recommend that. And I had $300 saved in the account. Okay, I use that now to fund this for 3 months. Then I'll worry about it then. But I haven't had to worry, because just through being helpful and recommending things that genuinely will help other people, there's plenty of money there. So it's a really good system. Yeah. And I hadn't even accounted for that. That's like free money. So yeah, you're totally right. It's great.
So few people really understand how powerful it is. And it's monthly. A lot of times people join communities and pay monthly, and it goes on for quite a while. And
yeah. Oh, especially if you help. So there's some things that I'll recommend. For example, Wingman, I'm quite helping a lot of people into. So I've then gone, well, it's no good them having Wingman and not understanding how to use it, because then they'd cancel after a couple of months. So now if I introduce someone into the plan, I've vowed now to give them a lifetime of training to say, okay, I'm not going to bring you in unless this is going to make you more than it's costing you. So again, win-win. Love win-win.
I love win-win too.
Great stuff. Have we got any more questions from anyone before I go? Because I'd love to give some more help. You all good? I haven't looked in the chat. I forgot to open it.
I've been keeping an eye on it, and
Thanks.
they're
Oh, it's hot in Southampton, apparently. So is it? There you go.
yeah, she was
Lucky
saying it was
girl.
like 36 there.
Yeah, it's not here. It's not in Cornwall. Cornwall's always a few degrees lower than up country. Always a bit colder.
I put Adam's
Thank you.
community link back in the chat again. And if you want to join his community, it's really amazing over there. You'll recognize some of the people that are in the community because they're in all the communities.
I know. So
Kind of thing I love about
you
school.
know the story how we ended up with so many, don't you? But really briefly, when I set up this community, I just wanted help from a few friends where my weaknesses are. So I'm rubbish at marketing and lots of and email marketing really bad at. So I thought, okay, I'll find some people that are good at marketing, good at email marketing, and then as I networked with so many people in the 7 months on school, I thought, well, if I invite 20 people in, 22 people, then I'll probably have 3 or 4 people wanting to help out. And everyone, bar 2 people, said, yes, please. So we're like, come on in. We can add so much value. So, that's how the resident expert thing was born. And so far, so good. But there's some exciting changes coming. Talking about offers, I actually have a package of my own offer. Now I know what our people want. So there'll be 2 tiers. They're coming out in the next 2 weeks. So there'll be lots of value in our offers. So,
That's
come
exciting.
on in.
Yeah.
Adam,
It's exciting.
I want to tell you something real quick about the community. One thing that I really appreciate is the fact that you do have the residential experts there because, quite frankly, it was a big sell on me. I had someone invite me in for
Oh,
Founders
brilliant.
Day, and he was like, hey, I think this will really work, really help us. So I checked it out. Someone I respect. I go and check it out. And his name Anthony Sunderland. Anthony Sunderland. He's a
Oh,
really
yeah.
good guy. I know that a really big thing with me is honesty and integrity. Morals, values,
Yes.
ethics, all of that. I'm old school in that way. I don't care, how much money you got, where you come from, what you look like. If you're trying to hurt people, rip them off, all that, I don't want any part of you. So, I wanted to say that I appreciate you finding these residential experts because, quite frankly, I already found a few that I need anyway, and it's a big
Yeah,
it's a big benefit of being right there. You already found them.
that's
One's right
fabulous.
here, Jill Hart. I already named it All Hart because I needed to learn about Substack. Here's Jill
Yeah,
with this.
there you go.
And most I've been in a lot of communities. I do a lot of testing and so forth. I respect the fact that you run the community where you do because so many communities are basically, hey, give us your greatest material, your greatest value. And then I can't even say, hey, my name's Nathan and
I know. I do.
Nathaniel, and this is what I do.
I found out the hard
boggles the
way.
mind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It just seems bonkers to me that people it's like, are you here to buy? It's just there's only a few. There's not, it's not like school has all these terrible actors, but there are 1 or 2 that we've saved people the trouble of having to go through that. Yeah.
In my experience, it's the majority. It's just like this greed factor has just jumped in there, and people have no long-term vision, You know, I don't like to paint everyone with a broad brush. In
Okay,
every
yeah.
industry, every walk of life, you have your, you know, you're good, you're bad, you have your great, hey, whatever. But I want to say I appreciate that. And I have a quick story for you on leverage. This was when I was a little kid, you know, we moved into a new neighborhood, didn't know anyone there. I saw these young ladies and the guy, you know, selling with their lemonade stand. They had the whole thing up and kind of started talking to them. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I was kind of lazy. I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't want to go through all that. It's real hot outside and everything. So I started thinking, and I was like, oh, how can I still make money off of this? And I wanted to see, you know, something I could do that was different. Because I said, okay, if I break out my own, I'm still working hard. They already got a head start on me. And it dawned on me. I said, they don't have any pink lemonade. They just have, you know, the yellow one, like lemonade. So right
Yeah.
there, I'm unique. Then I went home and started talking to my sister about this. How can I do it? My older sister. And I said, hey, would you make some lemonade for me? I got my mom, basically, long story short, I got my mom to make the lemonade, got my sister to buy the lemonade, got my sister to make the lemonade. I made a deal with them, you know, some of the young ladies. They sell a lemonade. They get, you know, like 60% of everything because I provided it. And that, hey, started like that. And I just expanded from there and started figuring out more ways to make money off of people. You know, you had some guys, I'm not mechanically inclined. My wife will tell you these fingernails stay clean, these hands stay clean. I'd rather work with this. You
I,
know, a lot of ladies have their husband, boyfriend, whatever, and they're like, honey, can you fix this? My wife is like, honey, please just write a check. Don't touch anything. I'm labeled the unhandy handyman at my house. Even our sons are like, Dad, don't do it. Please just write him. My older son sometimes like, hey, I'll pay for it. Just don't touch anything. That's where we are with that. But I've always looked for some kind of unique way to do whatever. And I found out that when it comes to leveraging, that's all you need is just something just slightly different and just go for it. And as far as the offers go, I'm looking at something right now on my desk. My main thing is get some leads. It says more leads equals more offers equals more paychecks. And I
yeah.
know that
It's business is really simple, isn't it, when you break it down?
my main goal is to, you know, find my target market as closely as I can, target whatever I'm offering as close as I can, and then find a way to get in front of them as much as I can, as often as I can. Whatever they'll tell me what's no good. I even ask people, listen, be brutally honest. I don't care about that. If I'm serving up what you think is garbage, let me know. I don't want to serve you garbage. I'm the guy who live. I really want to serve you great value each and every time. I can't go around saying, hey, they're great, and then it's junk. Or offer you junk. I have to, you know, give great value because it works nonetheless. I have this whole mission to help other people excel. I'm a big Zig Ziglar fan, you know, the way I'm gonna get what I want, help a lot of people get what they want. Everything I do is under that umbrella. And for the life of me, I don't understand why, well, I was gonna say why most people don't think this way. I have this little saying that annoys a lot of people, but it's true. So my friends say, hey, I don't look for like-minded people because there is no mind that's quite like mine. So I look for people kind of on the same path way, but I do believe each and every one is unique. I believe with every fiber of my being that every single one of us has some form of greatness within us. It's just, you know, sometimes it has to be pulled out. Some people recognize it, some people are shy about it. I clearly am very shy and hate talking to people and all that, you know,
Yeah,
but
you hardly ever do
others
that.
don't recognize it. I believe this with every fiber of my being that and I don't try to push my beliefs on others, but this is what I believe that God has put some form of greatness in each and every one of us. And my job is to help those who are trying to find that greatness, recognize it, use it, you know, to help themselves and others. I'm all in with that. So it's easy for me to, you know, get out there and say what it is. If it's not for you, cool. If you know anybody who it is for, you might think, hey, please tell them to go to greater words, greater you. You'll find me there or whatever I offer. And that's it. Sorry, I didn't mean to take up the whole time, but just want to say I appreciate you and I think it's great. Jill, thank you. You're awesome. And I'll be working with some of the residents and I sure thank you because I'm gonna be using that affiliate link and getting some money too. So,
You.
Love it. Just speaking on leverage, can I leave you with one more little tiny story that Nate just reminded me of,
Yeah.
just to sign me off? So this was when I was working in our Cornish Whispers company. And so my kids in the summer holidays, my kids have come into work with us since they were babies, all of them. We were painting a shop when Emily was 9 months pregnant, giving, but doing up the shop and then giving birth and then coming in the next day. So they're sleeping in a little box. So anyway, I had my eldest at the time, who was probably about 9, and I said, do you want to collate some flyers? So we would have Toy Day flyers, Cornish Whispers flyers, and collating them meant just putting one in, and a feedback card together, so that when we pack stuff, they all 3 go in. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like this, 1, 2, 3. And I said, I will give you 2 pence for every pile. So at the end of the day, we'll weigh them all and work out the price, and he gets paid. After about 10 minutes, so he started doing it. And 10 minutes later, I go into the office, and he sat in the office playing computer game. I said, oh, that's lasted a long time. Then you got bored of that. He said, no, I'm still on it. I'm like, what do you mean you're playing a game? He said, no, I'm on it. And so I went into the workshop, and my 2 youngest children are there, sat on the floor with all these flyers. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're really excitedly putting these things together, albeit much slower, saying, Blake's given us 1p for every one we do. So, we taught him well.
Yeah, you did. That's
so
the
I'll
way
leave
you
you
do
on
it.
that.
Thank you so much for joining us, Adam. This has been great. And thank you, everybody, for coming in today.
It was great fun.
It was.
As always.
And if you're joining us on YouTube, pop on into our newly named community, Client Acquisition for Coaches. We did it for SEO, but you can still get there by going to school.com/u-world-order. And be sure to check out Adam's community, and we'll make sure we put that link in the show notes below. Thank you all for joining us.